Welcome back, people. So last time, we were making our way through the caves of Narshe to meet up with Arvis, and now we're going to finish that up. And I hope everybody has had a good week. As people have been able to tell, mine was 50-50. It didn't have a good ending. It had a good beginning, but I'm not going to get into that anymore because, obviously, I've said what I'm going to say, and the opinion will stand. Specifically to the people who don't know what I'm talking about, it is the video that I made in regards to the WoW private server nostalgias. The opinion is out, and things have happened. Some of those things I really wish hadn't happened, but it's just the way it goes. But I hope everybody else has had a wonderful week. Thankfully, I was able to even things out with Geek News and having a good time with Alex and Romney last Saturday. So you guys will enjoy that. I'm actually editing that right now. So yeah, while we're making our way through, I do have a little bit of business this week to take care of for the channel. Oh, this is actually another interesting safeguard here. Basically, got to play Simon on it. I actually like the idea, and I believe I don't think I succeed at it once just to show it. Goodness. What's that? I don't know, but it's goodness. I think this is a security checkpoint. If we follow the light exactly, we'll probably be okay. If we make a mistake, the light will surround us. To proceed safely, we must tag the glimmering light. So basically, Edgar is explaining the mini-game here. So yeah, onto the business. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do a live stream this week. I've just got some things that came up that need to be taken care of. So I hope you guys don't mind. We'll be back next week. And I actually kind of forgot about it, and I needed to get it done. So, and it's one of those things you can't just reschedule. So unfortunately, there will not be a live stream next week. However, I have gotten some interesting suggestions for live stream ideas that we will probably be looking into in the summer. So just to let those people know, yeah, we'll probably get to them. Plus, you know, I already have some summer ideas for the live streaming type content. I don't know if it'll be live, but that's just because internet is unpredictable for me. So yeah, there will be no live stream this week. The Let's Plays, however, are going to go up as usual, and I am happy to say, I believe we're on the last part of King's Quest Episode 1 that is going up this week. So after that, now I am going to say we aren't going to go to Episode 2 right away. Yes, I know Episode 2 is out, but I kind of want to span this out. And unfortunately, since Episode 2, and I think by now Episode 3 should be out, that's not really the case. So we're going to move to another game for that the following week, but then we'll go back to King's Quest. And Final Fantasy, obviously, it's here, so nothing affected that. And Saturday, there will still be a podcast. However, I do want to remind people that don't know, excuse me. To the people who don't know, Romney, Aldo, and Brinton actually got together for a last-minute kind of thing. It was a private screening of Ratchet & Clank, the reboot movie that came out, and they actually brought their recording material that they had and did a recording of their review of Ratchet & Clank, and it is a bonus Geek News episode. It's on both Podomatic and YouTube, so you guys can watch it however. It's a short little video, but I think it's still entertaining. I'm making my way through it like, yay, we found the home of the Moogles. I've actually made my way through about 5 to 10 minutes of it, but I really don't want to spoil Ratchet & Clank, because here's another thing for Drak and Shadow fans. Me and Alex this weekend are going to get together to review Ratchet & Clank ourselves. Now, people have already been asking me, why weren't you guys there? Unfortunately, Romney got literally notified about 8 or 9 o'clock Friday night, and on the weekends, my wife works. So I'm basically at home watching my baby girl, and when you give me that kind of notice, like, by the time Romney actually got around to notifying us, it was about 9:30, 10 o'clock, and everybody that I could possibly call as babysitter was in bed. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll still send out the message and all that, and he actually only had 4 tickets, and they filled up pretty dang quick. So he was able to get Aldo and Brinton, but unfortunately Alex and me were busy and we couldn't make it work. But we're going to be getting together this Saturday to do a Drak and Shadow vlog of it, so you guys will know our opinion soon enough. And somebody actually did make the suggestion, like when Alex and me get to see it, maybe we'll make a discussion of the Ratchet and Clank movie, and we could probably bring that idea up and see what people think of it. But aside from that, Geek News is still happening this weekend, so you guys can look forward to that. And I think that pretty much covers all the business of the channel this week. People have really been asking what the summer plans I have are in two forms. I have individual plans, but I also have plans for the panelists of Geek News Reviews and Opinions. And I think it's getting pretty close to summertime, so maybe I can talk about them if I haven't already. Basically, I'm not going to talk about all of them because I have some unique ideas, including some WoW ideas, because Legion officially got its release date, and people wanted to know my opinion. I'm excited. It's still way too far out. It's like 4 months away. So, unfortunately, I've actually debated whether or not to take just a 4-month break from WoW to prep for Legion. I don't know if I will or not, but we'll see. But I have actually had some interesting WoW ideas after the whole Nostalrius mess to maybe consider other things that I could do. Oh, and we just got to Arvis's house. Banon, King Edgar, and Terra. What, you didn't expect Terra? Arvis, what's happening here in Narshe? Yay, I got his name right! The town's neutral. I've tried to get the people to side with the returners, but they're stubborn like that. Anyway, why on earth have you come here? What, through the back? You came through the back door. First, how are your people doing? Well, obviously he said they're fine. They all went slightly berserk when the Esper was discovered. Of course they did. It's a frickin' Esper. I'm staring at you intently. We believe this young woman is our only hope of reaching out to that Esper. Of course, because you're staring at her. My people are dying to know what the Esper looks like. That's what they're dying for? How about to get it off the area? Maybe Terra can help restore some order to our town. I don't think they're worried about what it looks like. They're worried whether or not it breathes fire. That Esper is either going to save us or dig us an early grave. See, Edgar has the right idea, people. We don't know what that Esper's gonna do. Well, I do, but, you know. Okay, so that actually ends the Edgar, Terra, and Banon scenario. And now we can either go to what Sabin was doing, or we can go to Locke. And I'm actually going to go ahead and spoil this now. I decided to go down the Locke scenario, just because I wanted to try and get the shortest to longest, and Sabin actually has the longest segment for these scenarios. So I wanted to try and get these done as quickly as possible, and therefore that's why we started with Edgar, Banon, and Terra. So here we go with the Locke scenario. Locke has worked hard to stymie the efforts of the Imperial troops, but now he desperately needs to escape. Go get 'em, fellas! I actually did get a question like, what is that voice? If you not watched Legend of Korra, that's like the closest I could give you an example. Nuts! I gotta get out of Narshe on the fly. Or I gotta get to Narshe on the fly. I'll learn to talk someday. So yeah, this is kind of the premise of... I'm sure there's a hidden passage under the rich man's house. Find the room that's drafty. Yeah. So this is kind of the story that Locke has to... Locke can no longer do enough to stymie the efforts of the Empire in South Figaro. So at this point, he needs to get out and get to Narshe. But since South Figaro is crawling with Imperial troops, he can't necessarily just walk out anymore. Now he needs to find a clever way to get himself out of there. Because I'm pretty sure... I don't like strangers. Bring me some cider and maybe I'll talk to you. This is actually something that goes into play here. As soon as we can get some cider. But yeah, that's the premise mostly for Locke scenario. He needs to get out of South Figaro and then also get himself to Narshe. And as you can see, the town is pretty much crawling around with Imperial troops, so he needs to find a unique way to get around. With the armored soldiers, they have no sense of humor. I think that's actually supposed to be like the brown soldiers. Yes, we'll find out that there's actually a different color for officers. And yes, I'm buying some extra items because, you know what, while I have the extra GP, I might as well just stock up on items at the beginning of the game while I can, because who knows if those items will be available later. And why would I want to spend more money on them? So yeah, that's the business, and that's a little bit of a... actually, did I hint at the summer stuff? The summer stuff is basically, like, I want to... You're that thief, Locke, aren't you? I want your autograph! Hey, call me a treasure hunter, or I'll rip your lungs out! That's a little harsh, dude. You just wanted your autograph. I mean, you're the famous thief... I'm sorry, treasure hunter? Treasure hunter. I said treasure... You guys heard it. I said treasure hunter. So, this section is actually kind of interesting in the fact that I remember when playing through this the first time, I handled these like every other battle you do in Final Fantasy. You just kill them off. This one actually encourages you to steal. Here we go. And the reason that it does is because you steal their clothes, and now you look like a merchant. Now you don't look like Locke, you look like merchant. And I love it. They go from being whatever they are to birthday suit. Yeah, B-Day suit, people. That might be an episode. B-Day suit. Sorry. Can I still have my autograph? Sure, dude. Whatever. Okay, with that, the summer plans are basically, in order to help people get to know the panelists of Geek News Reviews and Opinions, this is but one plan I have. Oh, no. And I accidentally went and talked to a soldier. This isn't going to end well. In order to help people get to know them, basically what I did is we're going to have unique Let's Plays or Gaming with the Geeks sessions with me and one of the others so that people can get to know them and see kind of their viewpoint, because I still get messages of like, you know, who is Brinton and why should I care about him? Or why should I care about his opinion? Who is Romney and why should I care about his opinion, you know? Because we haven't really covered that in a while. My grandfather was a servant from the richest man in town. Good to know. Merchant, right? You may proceed. So this is why we needed the merchant clothes, is because then we could pass through here and get access to even more of South Figaro. So that's pretty much the premise of it. I can already tell you the first one is going to be with Brinton, because he's kind of the newest member, or impromptu member. We're officially calling him a member of the podcast, because he has done a few episodes and people really do enjoy having him on, just for the humor aspect, but also for the opinions that he brings. So the first one is going to be with Brinton. I'm not going to say what the game is, but if people follow Brinton's channel and his most recent discoveries, you will like this Let's Play. In fact, I tried to pick something that would also encourage people to go to his channel, which is also a Let's Play channel. So you guys will look forward to that. After that, I don't really know who else is on the order, but yeah, Brinton's going to be the first one. The other ideas I'm going to keep to myself, but I think I actually have had some interesting WoW ideas happen after the whole Nostalrius mess. So maybe I'll try and fit those in before Legion. Maybe I'll try and make those videos as we go before Legion, because we got 3 or 4 months. If I can make it work, then I will. So you guys can look forward to that. Right now we're just buying some extra weapons because we're going to need them. for the coming events. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, guys, it's allergy season, so that also means coughing for me. I try very hard to take care of it, and I still get questions here and there like, why are you doing these if you're feeling sick? It's not that I'm feeling sick, it's just this happens. Scram, you blockhead! Brr! Brr! So this is actually technically the second outfit that you can steal, because this guy is, I love that even all of his armor is green. But you can steal it, and he is a Imperial officer, so you can actually get access to every place that the officer can go. Which is going to be helpful to get into the Imperial, more populated Imperial areas. Because nobody can complain to me anymore. And I'm just sucking at stealing. Now, I'm happy to also say, since the business is done, people have been asking if I've been able to get to any games in the past few weeks. And yes, I have. Aside from reviews, because obviously if people didn't know, I just barely put up my review for Nova Covert Ops, which unfortunately wasn't a very good one. And you guys can see why in a little bit. But that's more true to form of what the quickie reviews are going to be, at least in my mind. They're going to be shorter videos, covering only the things that have either changed or that are unique, and leaving it at that. And in this case, since it's StarCraft 2, not a whole lot changed. The audio's fine, the video, the visuals, the gameplay, it's all within engine. So the story is really the only thing, and I'll let you guys see my opinion on part 1 of 3 of Nova Covert Ops. Back to your post. And so I have been able to play other games. I'm actually working on tons of reviews because we're getting into the summer season. And there's lots to cover in the summer right now. I mean, let's see. I've actually got to bring it up here. I've got like 3 in May. I've got another 3 or 4 in June. These are full-on reviews. These aren't quickies. And one of them actually lends themselves to another video entirely. It's really after E3 is when things start lowering, because I don't have that much in July, and I don't have that much in August, but I'm still excited for the reviews that I have going, and I'm excited for the next review. If you guys don't know what it is, well, then I don't know what to tell you, because it's pretty obvious what that review is going to be if you've listened to earlier in this video. But I'm not trying to give people crap, but if you got the little tidbit earlier on, then you know what my next review is. Here's a pro tip. It involves a movie that just barely came out and a pairing that came out recently too. And this is also where we get the cider that the guy was talking about, which is. This is really why we need the officer uniform, is because then we can get into the inn, and we can get this from this merchant. Because we need this cider in order to move forward to the rich man's house, which is ultimately our goal. As you guys can tell, if there's a draft in the rich man's house, then maybe there's a way out. So yeah, I was actually able to play a lot of games recently, but I've covered a lot of them. So the first one that I actually want to talk about is Mass Effect 3, because people have been asking, have you been playing it? Have you been playing it? And I have. And so, let's see. Where do I start with it? Okay. I may not have covered everything, I'm not sure, but right now I'm at that point in Mass Effect 3. Yeah, I covered that I freed the Rachni, and I think that was the last thing I covered. So this time around, I actually handled a few more Cerberus attacks here and there, but most of my time was actually spent on Tuchanka. And I rescued a Turian strike team that was after a Doomsday bomb that they themselves put on Tuchanka. Wonderful. This just shows me that relations with the Turians and the Krogans are far worse than the game ever alludes to. Not only that, we took care of the bomb. We freed Tuchanka. Unfortunately, we had to have a few people pay the price. Pay the ultimate price. One of which was the the captain of the Turian strike team that we saved, who a lot of people didn't have a whole lot of confidence for, but in the end he kind of redeems himself by disarming the bomb and saving Tachanka. And I thought that was an awesome concept, because then at that point, the Turian... I'm not saying the Turian-Krogan relationship is repaired, but it certainly goes more towards redeeming them than anything else. The one that actually made me really sad was Morden. And so if you haven't played Mass Effect 3, sorry, but I'm just going to say this right here and now. Statute of Spoiler Limitations has way gone out on Mass Effect 3. And so Morden actually, in order to get the genophage cure out to the populace, he suggests that we disperse it. Oh, by the way, so the old man here is basically giving me a secret password that his grandson knows, so that I can go even further into South Figaro. But anyway, so Morden, he's come up with this plan to cure the genophage with spreading this cure amongst the atmosphere, so that every Krogan is going to breathe it in and leave it at that. And the genophage will be done. But... oh, did this one actually kick me back out? It does. I forgot that the grandson did that. I thought he just told you were wrong. So I'll have to go and get the merchant clothes again. But in order to do that, we find out that the Solarians, the people, or the race Morden is from, actually put in a failsafe, like a bug, so that if you tried to do that, then this would kick in and wouldn't let you. And so Morden actually had to go up manually to fix that, which, given that we were in a war zone at the time, meant that he had to pay the ultimate price in order to make up for the Solarians' mistakes. And to those who don't know the Mass Effect story, so yeah, the Krogan are mad at the Turians, but for different reasons, and they hate the Solarians because of the genophage. And so I actually thought that this was a really great moment for both the Turian people, in a way, and the Solarian people to redeem themselves, especially since they were dealing with Rex, who was dealing with us. So he knew the sacrifices firsthand, and since he's kind of the... not impromptu, his clan is like the most prominent clan on Tachanka, we knew that the relations were going to be paired a little bit better. And since I handled it the way I did, now I have both the Turians and the Krogans helping me out in the war against the Reapers. So I really liked how that story played out, and I'm not going to spoil all the details to it, but because I actually would want to encourage people to go play it, to see how that story plays out, and to give it kind of that kudos. But I loved it. I loved the whole concept. And it actually, like, I have no problem admitting this. Morden's sacrifice actually kind of brought me to tears, because I love the character, and I also love the way that they kind of let him go out. Which, if people have played Mass Effect 2 and seen kind of the sillier side of Morden, that's how they let him go out. And I thought that was a nice little... that was a nice way for him to go out, like, for him to do the sillier things to keep his mind off of the fact that the tower he was in was collapsing all around him. So, I really loved where I'm at in Mass Effect, and that's just one planet. I've like literally freed like one or two, and if that's the story for all the planets, this is going to be an awesome game. Although I already am getting questions about whether or not I'm going to like the ending. I'm not going to promise I am or not. I don't know at this point, and I don't want to make any presumptions. Especially since I have made my opinion known on things like Retake Mass Effect numerous times. Again, paying $60 does not make you part of the ARC team. This also goes to other games too. What have I done? I betrayed the town. I didn't even need the money. Yeah, you're a douchebag. Oh, but if you can hear... Oh, look at that. Here's the secret entrance that we got told about. That's so drafty. But before we go down there, I'm actually just going to check around and see if maybe there are any other treasures in the rich man's house. I'd love to take some of his fortune, because he's a dick. He sold out the town so that the Empire could move in. Oh, that poor soldier, he's watching the kids. That's not going to work out very well. Bunch of little spoiled kids? Yeah, that's not going to work out very well. All right, I think that's it. So we are going to go ahead and start up the underground area. But we actually are getting close to the end point for this week. So yeah, next week when we get back, we're going to go into the underground area of the rich man's house and try and get Locke out of South Figaro as quickly as we can.